Namaste. This is a experiential class. So it is not so much of an academic class. What that means is I ask for your functional trust, just temporary. The Sanskrit word is Shraddha, temporary trust in what I will unfold for you. For 3 hours of your entire lifetime, simply listen, receive, follow my instructions when I ask you to contemplate on something or feel something. Let us see where we land. Yeah? At the end, when we have Q&A, maybe none of this feels like it was relevant, but it was a nice experiment. But at least it won't hurt you. First, do no harm, right? And for some of you, it may be opening a small door. The teaching I'm about to provide is on atma, on the self, from the Gita and the Upanishads. So it is a high teaching. And usually in our tradition, it takes years and years of preparatory learning to sit and receive this. Yet even the Lord Krishna is so kind that in Bhagavad Gita, the moment he starts teaching Arjuna, he teaches about atma. In chapter 2, from verse 11 to 22, he has already given the highest teaching of the Bhagavad Gita. One need not proceed further. And then all the chapters that follow are on very mundane topics like food, how to sit for practice, how to close your eyes, whereas all the high teachings on Atma he has already given. Why is that? Because we believe that many of you may already be high practitioners from previous lives and from your current life. Why waste your time? Why not tell you about Atma in the early on? Because it is a matter, as John said, of remembering. You might remember something from deep within you. So acharyas like myself often teach about Atma in the public, although we spend thousands of hours internally training our students verse by verse. But in the public too, in open forums too, we talk about the Atma with some select verses because we are joggling your memory, the memory of who you are. So listen more to deepen. Some gaps may remain because I'm not a perfect teacher, and I do not know what is your background, what are your questions. But instead of answering that, which we did in the panel yesterday, which we did in our individual sessions, we are trying to get somewhere. Shall we? May I have your functional trust? Yes? May I have your blessings? Thank you. Thank you. Because when we are teaching, we are also students. The ultimate teachers are the Upanishads, you know. Close your eyes. Brahmanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bandvatitam Gaganasadrisham Tattvamasyadi Lakshayam. put your hands on your heart. Bhava Titam Triguna-rahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Fold them into Namaste position and bow to your inner Guru, the Atma, the Self. May this Atma within make this session fruitful for you. The all-knowing, omniscient power dwells within you. May it guide you forward on your earthly journey. May the teacher outside and the teacher within communicate to facilitate a knowing, self-realizing experience. Om. Welcome. I suppose I'm preaching from the pulpit, but it's clear that many of us believe that we are the body, we are the thoughts, we are the name, we are the title, we are the person of the earth. But we all know that there is something more in us. And ancient beings known as rishis and rishikas gave this extra something a name, and that is known as Atma. And Atma comes from the Sanskrit term Apnoti Sarvam iti Atma, which means that which is boundless within you is Atma. The body is time-bound, the mind is time-bound, but there is something that transcends time and space. There is an aspect of you that is boundless, and that is Atma. So I'm going to read for you a page or two from my book. This is from chapter 1. Atma, the self awaits your discovery. I begin with a quote from Tattvabodh by Shankaracharya. Apnoti sarvamiti atma, that which is boundless is who you are, Atma. And then I begin. The human mind is not an ordinary intelligence. You're not equipped with a mind merely to help you survive as an evolved animal, as evolutionary biologists would have you believe. Mind is an extraordinary awareness intelligence, a reflector of divine powers of your soul. Behind the ordinary mind is a real power, a universally pervading intelligence, a transcendental, divine, all-knowing existence that I call the Self with a capital S. Self is akin to spirit in the trio of body, mind, and spirit. It is the divine power that illumines everything and everyone, but is itself invisible. In the poetic Chandogya Upanishad, we find a dialogue between a sage and his disciple's son on who we truly are. The father beckons his son, "Bring me a fruit of the banyan tree." "Here you go, father. Break it." "Okay, I have broken it, father." "What do you see there?" "I see tiny seeds, father." "Break one seed open." "All right, I have broken a seed, father." "What do you see there?" "I see nothing, father." His father said, "From that nothingness, my dear, grows this whole banyan tree. Believe me, my dear, all that exists comes from the self, which is invisible, appears as no thing. That is real. That is the self. You are that. Dear one, you are that. The father continued, you see nothing in the seed, but everything resides in that seed. This big banyan tree cannot emerge from nothingness. Only you cannot see that subtlest of subtle something. Somethingness, life-enabling self. It is the self that resides inside the seed from which has sprung forth this enormous tree. That invisible power pervades everything and everywhere. It is all of existence. It appears as nothing to you since it is subtle, so your senses and mind cannot grasp it. But that does not mean self does not exist. Believe me, my dear, all that exists arises from Atma, which is the invisible but ultimate reality. You are that Atma, dear. Your Atma too is hidden, like the intrinsic emptiness buried inside the seed. Since your Atma is not material, you are unaware of it. You cannot know it via your senses. Being spiritual, it is unavailable for gross or subtle physical perception. Yet, it pervades your entire being as supremely intelligent self-awareness, so you can know it in your pure self-aware mind. You are the self. You are eternal. And all that goes on. Thank you so much. I have already introduced to you Apanoti Sarvamiti Atma, the Atma to you. Your eternal self, invisible, but there. Nothing but everything. And so I want you to just imagine that besides this physical being that you are, that is sitting here, probably it is not containing the Atma inside it, squeezed somewhere between your fallopian tubes and your, upper intestine or something. It's right there. In fact, your body is in that field, that emptiness. So imagine that vastness. And imagine if we are all in that vastness. Imagine if everybody in this room are in that one Atma. Now imagine everybody in that building. Now imagine everybody who lives in Wheaton, Illinois, in that Atma. Now imagine everybody in Illinois in that Atma. Imagine everybody in America in that Atma. Imagine everybody on earth in that Atma. Now imagine outer planets in that Atma. Imagine your entire galaxy in that Atma. Now imagine millions of galaxies in that Atma. Come back to your heart. It dwells right here. You are that vast. But then here we are, despite this one vast, amazing Atma, living in different bodies, having a circumstantial experience, not the vast absolute experience. Though we did experience, many of us did, because it's our reality. So it's no big deal that you experience it, because that's who you are deep inside you. And yet we have this individual self, which is a little bit of that Atma, because that Atma is the source, the prana, the power, the life principle. So it's a reflection of that plus body plus mind, and it creates this sense of personality, which is really a reflection. If you've seen the moon, and if you have a swimming pool, have you seen the reflection of that moon? Yeah. It's very beautiful, that reflection. But that's what this is. It's a reflection of that ultimate. So this part is known as Jiva, Jiva Atma. Jiva, Jiva, Jiva plus Atma. Just I'll give you a few technical words so that I can talk to you. Jiva comes from the root jiv, which means that which seems to have come alive. Have you seen how iron files start dancing next to a magnet? And if you don't know about the magnetic principle, you may think that these magnet files are living. Don't you think so? That is how we are all moving around, crawling about, mating, eating, pretending that we are alive. But it's this Atma principle that is lending life to us. That is why when this Atma principle dissociates, the body is there, the sense organs are there, the nervous system is there, the brain is there, but nothing is there, right? Because as long as this Atma is talking to us, it makes us a special character. So this whole story of the sense of small I is this jiva. So what is the difference? Let us go one by one, very important. Let's look at the nature. The nature of Atma is this Atma, this eternal presence, this ultimate truth is eternal. It doesn't have a start time, so it has an end time. None of that, And when we say eternal, it doesn't have that connotations of eternally waiting in hell or heaven. It's not a person. Atma is pure consciousness, it's a presence. And when we say eternal, it's a very gentle understanding of eternal as there is no beginning and no end. It has a existence. It is primordial existence. Things come and go like the ocean has primordial existence, waves come and go. You can make many ornaments out of gold, but gold itself always remains. Yeah, you can change a bangle to a necklace to an earring, but gold cannot be removed. Similarly, you can fashion a cup, a saucer, a teaspoon from clay, but clay is always there. In the same way, Atma is always there, bodies come and go. But the jiva, it tends to forget that it is Atma and what it starts fearing its end. It celebrates its birthdays and fears its death day. We can all afford to laugh on ourselves a little bit. We're not mocking. I'm not mocking. I also celebrate my guru's birthday. We celebrate Shankaracharya's birthday. But we understand that the real Shankaracharya, the real guru, the real part of us is not being born and dying. Location. As an Atma, you are everywhere. That is why when you deeply meditate or become intuitive, people call you psychic. They give you a new label. But the reality is that intuition is our inner nature. Whenever we become subtle, we are able to sense the whole room, are we not? So we become multi-located. And sadhus and rishis and mystics have shown us that they can be in multiple places at the same time. But when we are in our typical jiva form, we become very localized. Hold on, I am sitting in this chair. I will take 10 minutes to come to you. We talk like that because we have to waddle along through the brambles of life to the next point because we are localized entities. We become localized. Whereas our nature is all pervading. Then from the question of freedom as Atma, we are free. We are free. And we are joyously free. Ananda is our nature. There is some bliss in everything. But as jivas, we are bound and we are anxious. Even somebody who is happy in the world as a jiva has had to fight off a lot of demons to be happy. It's not naturally happy or has to do a lot of deep breathing to be happy. lot of effort goes into being happy. But you have found, I'm sure, and you can tell me with your hands, that the more you become aware that I am Atma or there is something more in me, there is a contentment, there is a optimism, a resilience that you cannot explain why. Anyone? Any hands? Yeah. Cannot explain why it's there. Yeah. Cannot explain. Because the more we come in touch with our Atma nature, what happens? We feel free. People try to manipulate us, we are free. People try to attack us, we are free. People try to glorify us, we are free. Life situations pull us down, we are free to rise again. We are free. Because we are free of those situations to stain us, to color us. We are free to love. We are free to extend friendship. We are free to believe in what we believe. Yeah? But as jivas, we get small, tight, rigid. And not only do we believe in what we believe, our beliefs become our attackers, our lockers, our prisoners. So the whole situation in the Vedic pristine philosophy known as Vedanta, and this Vedanta also has three angles of being taught. One is duality, that is also relevant. One is qualified non-duality, that is also relevant. And one is non-duality, that is also relevant. We just have to change, we grow in our perceptions. So I teach the final one, non-dual one. But I respect both of the other perspectives also because it's an evolution of our perspective. And so Atma, if you imagine, is like a movie projector. And Jiva is the character formed on the screen due to the light coming from the movie projector, right? So it is like that. So now we're going to do some experiential work. So we've understood that there are two parts of us, the Jiva and the Atma. And our whole goal is now for the Jiva to be more recipient or aware of the Atma at all times. There are many in this audience who already are, but there are many young people I see, many new faces that who may benefit from this small practice. So we'll close our eyes again and we notice the sense of the body from inside. So become aware, observe the body from the inside. Instead of being the body, observe the body. Instead of being the body, observe the body. And there is a cardinal principle taught by Shankara in Drisya Vivekaha in his text, that what you observe, you are not. The observer is different from what is being observed. So observe the body from inside. That means you are the observer, you are not what you are observing. The body is the subject of your observation. Now observe the breath as if separate from it, then you are the observer. You don't have to be the breath. You don't simply have to depend on the breath. You're observing it. Now observe the observer. Just become aware of awareness itself. Not aware of awareness plus content, but awareness of awareness itself. This is the silent, still, unchanging Atma. If it has any verb attached to it, then it is awareness. This awareness is an existence. It is not a metaphorical physical, chemical, atomic, particle, physics-based phenomena. It is an entirely spiritual existence inside you, observing, and in fact, it is the same Atma observing through each unit sitting here. That is the radical thing. It is oneself observing itself through your apparatus. Beautiful. It is silent, it is still. Come back, become now aware of your body. Go ahead, come back and become the body. Come out. Be the body. Welcome back. Rub your hands. Do you want to be in the here and now? We've plopped back into the body. Very good. With the body are attached body relatives, body dogs, body couches, body everything. This is the realm of the body. Welcome back. The way to give a small feedback to the teacher is to quietly think about one word that feels right for you at this point, like stillness, interesting, anchored. So think about one word that defines your experience. Go ahead, use the mind, which has experienced some separate entities within you. And do you have a word?
I do. You won't like this word enough.
Go for it.
Okay, the word was fighting.
Fighting.
I was fighting to not just pass out in the big present.
Yeah. Why do you think I won't like it?
Well, it really sounds very Atman-like.
Well, the jiva would fight it, right?
Yes.
I think it's a very good word. Michael?
Nowhere.
Nowhere.
Now here's.
Now, here. See? That's beautiful, yeah. And my dear, every experience is fascinating for us in the science of Vedanta. From fighting to being in bliss. Because it's a field. So how instructive, Michael, indeed. Would anyone else like to share? Would you like to share?
Words.
Yeah.
Peace and then embody.
Peace and embodied, interesting. Would anyone else like to share? Yes.
Freedom.
Freedom, yeah.
Vastness.
Sorry?
Vast.
Vastness, very good. Anyone else had a word that felt more like fighting, conflict, fear, boredom, scared?
I got exhaustion.
Exhaustion. So were you aware of this exhaustion earlier?
I guess so.
Okay, yeah. And were you aware of this fighting experience earlier?
Was I?
Yeah. Yeah, because sometimes when we go inward and we observe, we become really aware of what we are aware of, what we are experiencing. It's very fascinating. Shall we proceed? Yeah. So now I'm going to talk to you about the immortal nature of Atma. So I'm going to chant to you from the Bhagavad Gita. It's the verse 20 from chapter 2. Bhagavan Vacha Na jayate mriyate va katachita Nayam bhutva bhavitavan bhuya Ajo nitya shashvato yam purano Nahanyate hanyamane sharire. And what does the Gita say about Atma? It says, it is never born, it never dies. Having once been, it never ceases to be. It's a way of saying it always is. Unborn, eternal, ever present, ancient, Sanatana. It is not destroyed when the body is destroyed. verse 22. Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grenati naroparani tatha sharirani vihaya jirna nayani samyati navani dehi. Just as a person casts off old clothes and puts on new ones, so the indwelling Atma sheds worn out bodies and takes new ones. So at death, it takes off an old body, and at birth, it takes on a new one. This Atma is the true resilient part of you. And it's the big part of you. The Jiva part of you is only an outer covering. Nayanam chindanti shastrani, nayanam dahati pavakaha, na chainam kledayanta yapuna, shoshyati marutaha. Weapons cannot cut the self. Fire cannot burn it. Water cannot wet it, and air cannot dry it. All these things can happen to the body, but it cannot touch the Atma. What therefore it means for you is, it cannot be pierced by trauma. There is a part of you that is unbreakable. It cannot be scorched by life's intensity. It cannot be drowned by grief. It cannot be dried out by loneliness. Think about it. There is a part of you. Many times we are feeling scorched and dried out and pierced, and we go to a psychotherapist or we come to the Theosophic conference or classes, and we might meet some uplifting people and we feel better, right? Where did we buy this better? Where did this come from? Where was this better feeling hiding? You already had it, because there is an invincible part of you which is Atma. The knowers live like Atma, the non-knowers live like Jiva. And so the knowers of Atma also suffer from the pricks and pins of life, samsaric life, but they know, wait, I can simply be quiet, go inwards, and I will come back with something. Yeah? We will just go in. Isn't that? We have different words for it, but isn't that, Raviji? Isn't that our basic idea? I'll just go inside, find something, and come out. What's that something? Why do we know that there is something inside us that heals us, balms us? And we have a multi-billion-dollar well-being industry based upon actually Atma. We can take something to the bank, and that is that we got Atma. Right? You see, got milk, got Atma. Resilient. And the more you start living with awareness of your Atma, the more you become invincible. Bring it on. I have students who tell me, Shunyaji, I used to be so touchy and so sensitive, and I was itching all over my body, and my body was reacting, my mind was traumatized. And now I'm back again in a difficult period of my life, and I'm smiling to myself. I'm thinking, bring it on. I'm actually quoting from a letter I received from a student. Bring it on. So this fearlessness, and that is why the highest Vedic wisdom known as Vedanta makes us abhaya, fearless, because we are in touch with the unbreakable essence within us. and we become trained. This is how, if you have ever survived a heartbreak, you thought you would die, right? Based on that, we would all have been dead when we were teenagers. First love, broken, gone, we should have been dead, but we didn't die. We have survived every heartbreak, every betrayal, every loss, every tragedy, every disappointment, everything. Some of us have become stronger, some of us have just come through. But I want to say there is something unburnable, unbreakable, undiminishable in us. And if we all had this teaching when we were vulnerable young people growing up into teenagers, and we were told, remember, you're going out in the big bad world, but you got Atma. You are Atma. And this Atma is in every being. There would be no wars, there would be less trauma, and there would be much more joy in our earthly experience. If you agree, say a yes to me. Yeah. However, the teachings are in very difficult Sanskrit, hard to code, and require a lot of explanation, hand-holding, and thanks to different cultural ways of saying the same truth. I do not think that this is only the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita, although they are clear in the Bhagavad Gita. We have found these kind of resilient teachings in major traditions of the world. Not just the Indic traditions, but we find the teachings of the light. We find the teachings of the higher kingdom within you, the kingdom of God within you, right? We find these teachings, but the teachings of Atma in a very straightforward manner is very helpful. And if there were a couple of verses you wanted to be familiar with, then it's Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, verse 11 to 22, that you want to type up and put on your dresser or your refrigerator and check them often, because these verses describe the nature of the self. And a jiva needs to go on being exposed to these teachings, because the jiva tends to forget. Now I can go into why we forget. I can talk about Maya principle, Mithya principle. But there is only so much time, so I would rather say that yes, we forget. We have been given brains, nervous system, body. Atma is having fun through all of us. Is it always in bliss? Clearly. So it's not in a tragic space at all. And but the jiva is, so a jiva that knows. That is why in Vedanta, we have a term called jnani. Jnani. And jnani means, jna means to know. And to know what? Not to know where is the mall. Not to know who sells the best Chinese food. Not to know how to make $1 million in a quick way. But who knows the Atma, who knows about the Atma, and who knows the Atma. A jnani is a very big title for us. So and so is a jnani, right? Your uncle, along with being a sadhu, was a jnani, right? And all the people you met when you were growing up. Because to hear about the Atma as you are hearing, to contemplate upon it as you may, some of you will especially contemplate, continue contemplating, go back to the Gita, read up more on Atma, listen to more lectures on Atma, and then try to practice being an Atma. So here is how you practice. So I would, for example, I'm driving a car and suddenly it's in a new place and the traffic is very unknown, and I don't know the roads, and my phone is not working, and I think I'm going to be lost, and my heart starts beating. The jiva part of me, the heart starts beating. Because typically, I would have called someone to say, can you speak the directions for me? And nothing is. So now I know I have to stop at a gas station and I know I have to do this and that. But at that point, I will stop at the gas station, but first I will not get out of the car either. First I'll close my eyes and I'll talk to the Jiva and say, now, I know that you are scared and you want to build up all your hormones of fight, flight, freeze. However, we got it. I'm Atma. I'm all pervading. These are not strangers, these are friends. All is well. This is my home, my adventure. By the time Acharya Shunya comes out of the car in her yellow robes to go to a gas station in the middle of nowhere, she already got it. And then I meet friends in the eyes across, and I'm helped. So it's a choice. Do I want to stay in the terror of being a jiva? Or do I want to be Atma? That's one. Number two, let's give you more examples. Is this helpful? I don't know how to cook food. Like, I can survive, I promise. And I had two teachers. I had my grandmother and my grandmother. And my mother passed early. So my grandmother wanted me to learn cooking and stitching. And my grandfather was teaching me the Vedas, and then I went to school. I liked learning the Vedas from childhood, but I would hide from the stitching class. I mean, please don't take offense if you like it. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to cook much well. Though when I cook with dharmic love and attention. I'm much better now. So there were these parts that I didn't have as a householder. As a mother, I didn't have these parts in me. The jiva part of me would want to feel guilty. The atma part of me is not guilty. And the atma part of me manifested a husband who is a chef. The atma part of me manifested a world where I can have clothes stitched and afford them. And I don't need many clothes. So do you see? The jiva gets into dramas. The atma is in alignment. So I'm giving you simple explanations. My student wrote a beautiful blog on how she had two young children and she was giving them a bath. And they were like slippery kids. She wrote some beautiful language and how they were playing to be fishes, and it was all fine until they started slipping from her hands in the bathtub. And that was not a fun game anymore of all these fishes sliding from her hand and they could have injury. And she had this moment of exasperation come up. And then she remembered she's Atma. And that Atma is flowing through these children also. She relaxed. And in her relaxation, her children came back to her. And all was well. So she was an Atma mother, not just a mom. So, of course, these are on the world teachings, but they're relevant. Living Atma, living from that resilience. Then I have even more fun things to tell you in the final. We talked about the neck briefly. This body has some interesting DNA that wants to act in a certain way, and it wants to put me in a wheelchair. And I have been on crutches in the past, and I've had time on the wheelchair too. And people with my condition, or so-called the body's condition, it's not mine, the body's condition tend to, have multiple surgeries and painkillers and whatnot. I don't. I have a fashionable neck. That's a different matter. So, sometimes the hands, they're also turning strange and funny. But it's okay. They can look any which way they want. But they should keep working because I like to write. And I want to be mobile. So sometimes they ache. And I was applying oil and I was taking some herbs, which I will take as need be because I respect Ayurveda and I know it. And something more was needed. So now I command it, enough, and the pain stops. I've reached that point. Enough. I tell the jiva, come down. Comes down. So now I couldn't get up without, oh, somebody help me. So now I just get up because enough. That's what I told my knees, enough. So I want to tell you, I'm in this interesting frontier of healing a lot of my body conditions through my atmic awareness. I can't teach you how to do it, but it's getting there. Being a woman who's almost 60, there is this thing called urgent urination because you have delivered a baby. And it's like, what is this? So now I'm going, enough. Stop being a nuisance. And you tell the urine to go back up. And it does. So now I'm seeing that this whole thing is just an instrument. It's a field. It is a mechanism. And I am just telling it what to do. Am I telling you that I'm invincible? No, because this body has to follow the laws of matter. But do I have more privileges as an Atma? I do. Are you with me? Don't come telling me if one day, Shunyaji, how could you die after all your Atma? No, none of this. Immortal is the Atma, not the body. And who wants to be in the same old body forever and ever? Gets boring. But the point is, I am beginning to have a comfortable time in the body as Atma. So I ask you to rethink if you only want to be this Jiva. Jiva Atma, or you want to be Atma connected to Brahman, the ultimate. The Atma and Brahman is the same thing. So the Shvetashvatara Upanishad says that as the oil, have you seen sesame seed, right? How hard it is. But if you press it, oil comes out, right? In the same way, as oil is hidden in the seed, and fire is hidden in the wood, right? You don't know it, but there is fire in the wood. There is water in the underground springs, which you don't know, but you discover so much tons of water. In the same way, Atma, with all its immensity and blessings, is hidden in you. That is why we have the tradition of sitting down in satsang or sitting down with teachers who tell us about Atma. Why? Because the way to activate Atma within you is to simply listen about it. After listening about Atma, there is no going back. Sorry, I did not tell you this. Once you hear it, there is no way to unhear it. Especially if you sit down and listen to the verses. Because it is, we don't have to get it from somewhere. Each of us has an equally powerful Atma, which is because it's the same Atma. It is just that we have forgotten it. To the degree we have forgotten, we lament. And our limited jiva self can come up with limited solutions. On top of that, we turn to other jivas to unconditionally love us when they are such conditional, collapsed beings. Have you seen that? So what can we expect from a world of jivas? Tell me. Why should our heart break? Instead, we should be of service to this world of jivas and give them unconditional love, unconditional teaching, unconditional compassion, because we are now jnanis. We know that, oh, this whole realm on earth is full of sleepwalking, conditioned jivas. And all they are doing is clamoring for wholeness. Nobody goes to the doctor and says, excuse me, doctor, I have come to see you because I would like to be unhealthy. Never. Never in the history of humanity. You know why? Because Atma is pure health. It is not our nature to be. We want health. All of us want love. Nobody wants betrayal because Atma is pure love. We all want to be abundant because Atma is abundant and resourceful. So our values, our dharmic values, are about coming into alignment with our true nature. That is why we like people who speak the truth. Sometimes even our enemy speaks the truth, but we say, at least they spoke the truth. Don't we? Don't we do that? And we may have somebody on our side, but they are kind of slimy. And we are like, no, right? 99% of us, we like honest people, we like truthful people. We appreciate health, we appreciate clarity because these are the nature of our Atma. All this sorrow because he forgot? Okay, let us sit down and remember it. Thank you, Krishna, for reminding Arjuna that you are not just a mortal body standing on the stage of a battle. Fight this battle because it is for the greater good. For the greater dharma, for the cosmic dharma. Many times we have to do things, do it because you're on a stage, but don't forget who you are. This is very helpful. So that is why the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says the Atma must be heard about again and again. That is why, I studied for 14 years with my teacher, every day. And in India, we didn't have the concept of weekend. One time somebody came from abroad and said, what do you do on weekends? I don't know what they were asking. We do the same thing. We get up at 5 in the morning. Then we go and do pranam to the sun. Then we take a shower. Then we do puja with the same routine. What we do on weekend. The sun doesn't have a weekend. The river doesn't have a weekend. So we don't have any weekend break. So we have to hear about it again and again. So in 14 years of study, I might have received a couple of Upanishads and Gita in the 3-4 years, but then you keep hearing it. Because the more you hear it, the more it becomes clear. And then, of course, hearing is not enough. The self-inquiry is the critical piece. There were many people who were hearing it. But were they then contemplating on it? Did they take it home? Did they take it to their bedroom? Did they take it to their boardroom? Did they take it to their temple? Did they take their Atma and the inquiry of Atma to their day-to-day life, to the mall, to the grocery shop, It's with you because you're with the teacher for half hour, or you may read their book for half hour. But it's the self-inquiry that is the critical piece here, that they do that. So my teacher, Baba Yodhyanath, compared this to building a house. So when you read a book, as there are many beautiful books in our library here, or when you listen to, say, my talk, you are gathering some bricks from me. Then you go and read a books. Then you listen to the teachers here and you grab some bricks from them. So now you have these bricks of different colors and sizes, but then it is for you now through your self-inquiry to build a house with it, to place it in the right order. That you have to do, right? And in our tradition, we study with one teacher for a very long time because these require framework. So you may have many different bricks. For example, I have some students sitting here. Sometimes I teach them Gita. Sometimes I teach them about Durga. Sometimes I teach them about the Gayatri Mantra. So now they have different sized bricks. But they have to take it home and then they have to configure it. And some people may have built half a house or half a mansion in another lifetime. All they came to you was for 2 bricks. They get the 2 bricks and they're running. So the teacher doesn't possess students. A true teacher doesn't possess students like, oh, come, just follow me now for the rest of your life. All that is, for every false guru, there are 5 genuine gurus also, let me tell you. Guru is a principle. Guru means the one who sheds the darkness, right? Gu is darkness, Ru is the sort of a light. And these genuine gurus may be poorer than you. They may not have a very big website. They may not have a pop following, but they are teachers. Genuine gurus, right? They enlighten you. So you find these kind of teachers, which are, many of them are coming here. Many of them you are benefiting from the founders here were great teachers. I saw, wow, I went to the library and I saw Madame Blavatsky's work, body of work. It was amazing. I checked out 2 books. So you have some amazing foundation here to take the bricks. But then you do the self-inquiry to create the home. And you will know how many bricks you need intuitively. I seem to need a lot of bricks. And it's okay. It's all right. But in next lifetime, probably I may not need so many bricks. After all, Ramana Maharshi was at a very young age. He was fully realized, right? How? Because probably he had done the work. Because we are a continuous being. We are not, our story doesn't end with one story. This we have agreed, or probably. Okay. So this is what I want to say to you. How much time have we spent?
It's about 57 minutes.
Okay. So this is a great time to take a break